My child, stop for a moment. This is a personal message meant to reach you right now. I died for you, and before you move on with your day, I'm asking for 1 minute of your full attention. Do not treat this lightly. Do not half listen. Stay with me, because what I am about to speak into your heart carries weight, carries truth, carries love that was proven in blood. You have heard about the cross before, but you have never heard it like this. Watch until the end. Let every word reach you. If you stay something inside, you will shift, and you will not leave the same. My child, I want you to slow down with me right now. Just you and me. I need you to understand something that you may have heard many times, but you have never really allowed to settle into your heart. When I gave my life for you, it was not a distant sacrifice made for humanity in general. It was not a symbolic gesture. It was personal. I saw you. I knew your name before anyone else ever spoke it. I knew the tone of your laugh, the fears you would hide, the private struggles you would never admit out loud. I knew the version of you that smiles in public, and the version of you that lies awake at night staring into the dark. And with all of that in full view, I chose to endure the cross. You were not a random face in a crowd to me. You were not an abstract soul in a distant future. You were specific. You were real. You were already in my heart when the nails pierced my hands. You have sometimes treated my death like a religious story, something sacred but far away from your daily life. You picture it as something that happened long ago, disconnected from your present reality. But I need you to see that it was deeply connected to you. When I walked toward that hill, I was carrying more than wood on my back. I was carrying the weight of your guilt, your shame, your future regrets, even the mistakes you have not made yet. I saw the moments when you would feel unworthy. I saw the times when you would question if you had gone too far. I saw you doubting whether you could ever be fully loved. And I didn't turn away. You need to understand that I was not surprised by your weaknesses. I was not hoping you would become perfect one day. I knew exactly who you would be, and I still moved forward. That is the depth of what I did for you. That is the cost you have never fully grasped. It was not only physical pain. It was the decision to absorb everything that would ever separate you from me, so that you would never have to carry it alone. And I want you to sit with this part carefully. When you think about your worst moments, the ones you hope no one ever finds out about, the ones that still make your stomach tighten when you remember them, I had already seen those when I chose the cross. You sometimes imagine that if I truly knew everything about you, I would hesitate. But I did know. There was no hidden chapter. There was no secret that escaped my sight. I knew how stubborn you would be at times. I knew the pride that would creep into your heart. I knew the relationships you would mishandle. I knew the nights you would ignore me. None of that was a surprise waiting to be discovered. It was already visible to me, and still I did not pull back. You need to stop thinking that my love was based on the best version of you. It was based on my heart, not your performance. That changes everything, because it means my sacrifice was not fragile. It was not conditional. It was not something that can be undone by your failures. When I allowed myself to be broken, I was not thinking about a future where you would earn it. I was thinking about a future where you would need it. There is a difference. You have spent so much of your life trying to become worthy, trying to clean yourself up before coming close to me. But I did not die for the cleaned-up version of you. I died for the real you, the confused you, the anxious you, the version of you that sometimes doubts whether any of this is true. I carried that version of you with love. I did not die to create distance. I died to remove it. I did not suffer so you would live under pressure. I suffered so you could breathe without fear, that you are one mistake away from losing me. When you begin to understand that the cost was paid with full knowledge of who you are, you will stop running from me and start leaning toward me. That is why I am speaking to you now. I do not want this to remain a distant belief in your mind. I want it to become something steady in your heart, something that reshapes how you see yourself every single day. My child, I need you to let this settle deep inside you because your heart has carried a quiet suspicion for years. You have wondered if you were an afterthought. You have looked at your life, at your falls, at the ways you have stumbled, and you quietly assume that I must have adjusted my love downward to accommodate you. You imagine that perhaps I planned something glorious once, but then you disappointed me, so I scaled it back. That thought has lived in you longer than you admit. Let me correct it gently but firmly. You were never an adjustment. You were never a backup plan. You were not added in later after I considered better options. Before the first sunrise touched the earth, I already saw you. Before your parents held you, I held the blueprint of your life in my heart. You did not slip into existence unnoticed. You were wanted. When I chose the cross, I did not discover you along the way. I did not react to your sin in frustration. I had already seen the whole arc of your story. That is what makes my sacrifice so deliberate. It was not emotional impulse. It was intentional love. I knew your strengths. I knew your stubborn streak. I knew how easily you would doubt yourself. I knew the times you would walk away from me and then feel ashamed to come back. None of it caught me off guard. I did not sit in heaven hoping you would turn out impressive enough to justify my suffering. I have already decided that you were worth it. You must stop thinking that my love depends on your progress. It does not rise and fall with your performance. It was set before you ever tried to prove yourself. You have sometimes compared yourself to others and assumed they must matter more. You saw their gifts, their confidence, their visible faith, and you quietly concluded that maybe I focus on them while you are somewhere on the edge of my attention. That belief has shaped how you pray. It has shaped how you approach me. You come cautiously, as if I am tolerating you rather than embracing you. I want you to release that thought right now. Drop it. Let it fall. You are not tolerated. You are treasured. When I think of you, I do not sigh in disappointment. I do not roll my eyes at your weakness. I see my child. I see the one I formed with care. I see the one whose heart I have been guiding, even when you did not recognize my hand. You are not competing for my affection. You already have it. Consider this carefully. If you had been the only soul in need of redemption, I still would have stepped into suffering. That is not exaggeration to impress you. It is truth spoken plainly. My love is not distributed in fractions. It is not diluted by numbers. It is focused and fierce and fixed. When you say to yourself that you are small, that your life is ordinary, that you are replaceable, you are measuring yourself by human standards. I do not measure you that way. You are singular. There has never been another you, and there will never be another you again. That uniqueness matters to me. It is part of why I gave myself fully. I did not sacrifice myself for a vague concept called humanity. I sacrificed myself with your specific soul in view. I want you to absorb that. Let it challenge the lie that you are insignificant. Let it interrupt the voice that says you do not matter as much as others. You matter deeply to me. Now respond to me in your heart. Tell me honestly if you have felt like an afterthought. I am not offended by your honesty. Bring it into the light. Speak it, and then allow me to replace it with truth. Stay with me as we move forward, because this understanding changes how you will hear everything else I say. My child, there is something you need to face without fear. I have seen your entire story from beginning to end, not the polished version you present to others, not the carefully edited narrative you prefer to tell. I have seen the raw pages, the scribbled corrections, the chapters you wish could be removed. I saw the first time you felt rejected. I saw the first lie you believed about yourself. I saw the moment when shame first wrapped itself around your thoughts. I saw every turning point, every detour, every decision that still echoes in your memory. Nothing has been hidden from me. And I want you to understand that my knowledge of you does not push me away. It draws me closer. You sometimes think that if your full story were displayed openly, love would retreat. You are used to conditional acceptance. You have learned to manage impressions. You show the strong side and conceal the fragile side. You show the confident exterior and bury the insecurity underneath. With me, there is no need for that performance. I already know. I know the words you regret speaking. I know the opportunities you wasted. I know the relationships you mishandled. I know the anger you suppressed and the jealousy you never confessed. I know the nights when you question whether I was real, and I am still here speaking to you. Let that reality sink in. My presence is not withdrawn. My affection has not thinned out. I have not stepped back in disappointment. When I endured the cross, I was not working with limited information. I was not unaware of your future. I saw the exact moments when you would feel far from me. I saw the times when you would choose pride instead of humility. I saw the seasons when you would drift into distraction. Yet I didn't hesitate. I didn't reconsider. My decision to give my life was made with full knowledge. That means your worst moments were already included in the cost. You do not surprise me. You do not shock me. You do not exhaust my patience. You may feel shocked by yourself sometimes, but I am not startled. I am steady. There is a reason I want you to understand this. You have been afraid to come close because you assume I will react the way others have reacted. You think I will bring up your past with sharp accusation. You think I will remind you of every failure with cold distance. That is not how I deal with you. I deal with you as a father who has already absorbed the cost. When I look at your story, I do not see a hopeless case. I see a life that can be restored. I see a heart that can be softened. I see growth still unfolding. You are not beyond repair. You are not defined by your lowest point. I saw your entire story and still chose redemption. That is not accidental love. That is committed love. Let me ask you something quietly. What part of your story are you most ashamed of? Bring it to me. Do not edit it. Do not soften it. Tell me the truth. I already know it. But I want you to speak it so you can feel the relief of not hiding. Come closer instead of pulling back. Allow yourself to be fully known and still fully loved. Stay here with me. There is more I want to show you as we continue. My child, when you think about the cross, you often focus on the pain, and you are not wrong to do that. It was brutal. It was sharp, suffocating, relentless. But I need you to understand something deeper. What I endured was not chaos. It was not meaningless suffering. It was not tragedy without direction. There was purpose woven into every wound. There was intention behind every insult, every strike, every breath that felt like fire in my lungs. I did not drift into death as a victim of circumstance. I walked into it with clarity. You need to see that clearly, because your heart sometimes imagines that I was overpowered. I wasn't overpowered. I was offering myself. That changes everything. When you see your own suffering, you tend to assume it is pointless. You look at your setbacks and think they are signs of abandonment. But look at me. I stepped into agony not because I lost control, but because love required it. The cross wasn't an accident that happened to me. It was a decision I made for you. Every splinter of wood against my back, every mocking voice that surrounded me every moment. When the sky grew dark, I remained there because I could see beyond the immediate pain. I could see you. I could see the day when you would question whether you were worth saving. I could see the nights when you would whisper that you felt too broken to come back. And I stayed. That is not weakness. That is deliberate devotion. You need to let this truth settle into your bones. My suffering had a target. It had direction. It had your freedom in view. The shame you carry, the silent accusations in your mind, the internal courtroom where you constantly judge yourself, all of that was addressed there. When I allowed myself to be stripped and exposed, I was dismantling the power of your humiliation. When my hands were stretched open, it was not only physical surrender, it was an invitation. I was opening space for you to come home without fear. The pain was real, but it was not random. It was purposeful, pointed, precise. There was nothing chaotic about my love. Now I want you to do something uncomfortable. Stop minimizing what I did. Stop treating it like a poetic symbol instead of a personal rescue. You have grown familiar with the story, and familiarity has dulled your awe. Shake that off. Look at it again with fresh eyes. Picture it this way. The cost was not to drown you in guilt, but to awaken you to value. You do not give your life for something worthless. You do not endure humiliation for something disposable. You endure inconvenience for things you do not care deeply about, but you endure sacrifice only for what you treasure. I treasured you. That is why I remained. Let the truth confront the lie that you are insignificant. And here is something else you need to understand. Purpose does not erase pain, but it transforms it. The cross was agony, yet it was also access. It was suffering, yet it was salvation. That contrast matters. You often look at your life and assume that if it hurts, it must be wrong. But I turned the darkest day into the doorway of redemption. I can take what feels crushing in your life and shape it into something redemptive. Invite me into it. Do not isolate yourself in your confusion. Bring your pain to me and let me breathe purpose into it. I am not asking you to pretend it does not hurt. I am asking you to trust that it is not wasted. Come closer. Stay open. Let the meaning of my sacrifice move from history into your present reality. Take a moment now and respond in your heart. Do not rush. Let it sink in. My child, there is a quiet exhaustion in you that you rarely talk about. It comes from striving. It comes from constantly measuring yourself against an invisible standard. You try to improve, to correct, to refine, to fix. You approach me as if you are submitting a resume, hoping I will see enough progress to keep you accepted. That posture has shaped your relationship with me more than you realize. You come carefully, almost apologetically, as though you are waiting for approval to remain. I need you to hear me clearly. You do not have to earn what I already paid for. The transaction is finished. The debt is cleared. The price is not pending. It is paid in full. When I gave my life, I did not leave a portion unpaid, so you could complete it later with good behavior. I did not expect you to add spiritual effort to make up the difference. You treat grace like a loan that must be repaid with performance. That is not how this works. Grace is a gift, and the gift loses its nature when you try to purchase it afterward. You have been living in quiet anxiety, afraid that one serious mistake will revoke everything. That fear does not come from me. I did not stretch out my hands so you could live under constant tension. I stretched them out so you could rest. I want you to examine the way you speak to yourself. When you fail, Your inner voice becomes harsh. You replay your mistakes with sharp criticism. You promise to do better next time, as if you are negotiating for continued acceptance. That pattern has become familiar to you, but it is not the voice I use with you. My correction is firm when needed, but it is never rooted in rejection. I do not threaten you with withdrawal. I draw you back with compassion. If you stumble, come to me immediately. Do not clean yourself up first. Do not rehearse excuses. Come honestly. Let me meet you there. You do not impress me with self-punishment. You honor me with trust. Let this truth confront your pride as well. Sometimes your striving is not only fear, it is control. You want to feel responsible for your own redemption. You want to say you fixed yourself. But salvation was never designed as a self-improvement project. It was designed as rescue. Rescue requires surrender. That word unsettles you because it means releasing your grip. But I am asking you now to loosen your hold. Stop negotiating your worth. Stop bargaining with your behavior. Accept what I have already secured for you. Think about this carefully. If I demanded perfection after sacrificing myself, my sacrifice would contradict itself. I knew you would need mercy repeatedly. I accounted for your weakness before you ever displayed it. That is not permission to live carelessly. It is freedom to live courageously. When you are no longer driven by fear of losing me, you can actually grow in love for me. That is the transformation I desire. Not performance rooted in panic, but obedience rooted in relationship. I want you to do something practical right now. Release the idea that you must qualify for my presence. Say it quietly if you need to. Tell yourself that the price has already been paid. Then approach me, not as an employee seeking evaluation, but as a child returning home. I am not counting your failures to decide whether you stay. I have already decided that you belong. Stay with me. Let this truth soften the tension in your heart. My child, I can feel the resistance in you, even as you listen. You are not rejecting me outright, but you are cautious. You hold part of yourself back. You nod at the truth, but you do not fully step into it. I know why. You have learned to protect your heart. You have trusted before and felt the sharp sting of disappointment. You have opened up before and been misunderstood. You have believed promises that were broken, and now you carry that quiet, careful posture into your relationship with me. You assume that if you lean too far in, you might get hurt again. So you stay half engaged, half guarded. You tell yourself that distance is safer than devotion. I want you to hear this clearly. I am not like the ones who failed you. My love does not shift with mood. It does not depend on your usefulness. It does not shrink when you struggle. When you hesitate with me, it is not because I have been inconsistent. It is because you have been conditioned by inconsistency. You expect warmth to fade. You expect patience to run out. You expect that eventually I will say, I have had enough. But that expectation comes from human patterns, not from my heart. I need you to separate your past experiences from my character. Do not project onto me what others have done to you. Pause. Examine that carefully. Your fear makes sense based on what you have lived through, but it does not reflect who I am. Let me ask you something gently. When you pull back from me, what are you protecting yourself from? Do you think I will shame you? Do you think I will expose you without mercy? Do you think I will demand more than you can give? I see the narrative forming in your thoughts. You imagine a stern voice waiting to criticize. You imagine disappointment hovering over you. That picture is not accurate. I am firm when necessary, but I am not fragile. I am holy, but I am not hurt. There is strength in me, yes, but it is steady strength, not volatile force. I am not waiting for a reason to withdraw. I am inviting you closer, even when you are unsure. I want you to do something practical right now. Lower your guard a little. You do not have to dismantle every wall in a single moment, but open a small door. Speak honestly to me about your hesitation. Tell me where you are afraid. Tell me where you doubt my consistency. I am not threatened by your honesty. I would rather hear your real concerns than watch you hide behind polite distance. Come to me, as you are not as you think you should be. When you allow yourself to be known, you will discover that my response is not rejection. It is reassurance. You have been living with a cautious heart, always calculating risk. That pattern may have protected you in some relationships, but it is limiting you here. You cannot fully experience my love while keeping me at arm's length. I am not asking you to abandon wisdom. I am asking you to trust my character. I have never broken a promise to you. I have never lied to you. I have never betrayed your vulnerability. Reflect on that. When you look back, you will see that even in seasons when you felt distant, I was steady. I did not disappear. I did not change. I remained. Let that evidence speak louder than your fear. Come closer. That is my faithfulness. Give me the space to show you that I am not like the voices that wounded you. You are safe with me. Let the truth begin to soften the tight grip you have kept on your own heart. My child, this conversation we are having right now is not accidental. You may feel as though you simply paused long enough to listen, but I have been aware of this moment long before you recognized it. I have watched you move through seasons of distraction, seasons of searching, seasons of quiet confusion. I have seen the days when you were too busy to notice me, and the nights when you were too tired to pray. Through all of that, I was not impatient. I was attentive. I knew there would come a time when your heart would be ready to slow down and hear me clearly. This is the time. You often think of me reacting to your life in real time, as if I am catching up to your decisions. That is not how I operate. I see the whole arc. I knew there would be a day when you would feel the weight of everything you have been carrying. I knew there would be a point when striving would exhaust you enough to seek something deeper. I knew there would be a quiet crack in your self-sufficiency that would open space for this conversation. I was thinking of this very moment when I gave my life for you. I knew you would need to hear these truths, not as theory, but as a lifeline. You may look at your journey and see detours, delays, even wasted time. I see development. I see growth that forms slowly beneath the surface. I see questions that sharpen your understanding. I see pain that humbled you in ways comfort never could. None of it has been random. Even your wandering has not been outside my awareness. I have not been wringing my hands in frustration. I have been guiding quietly, steering gently, arranging circumstances you did not recognize as protection. When doors closed unexpectedly, you felt confused. I saw danger ahead. When plans collapsed, you felt disappointed. I was redirecting you. When relationships ended, you felt abandoned. I was preserving you. Pause and consider how many times you could have been destroyed by your own decisions, yet you were not. Reflect on the narrow escapes you barely noticed. Think about the opportunities that seemed perfect, but later revealed hidden consequences. I was there in those details. You may not have seen my hand, but my hand was steady. That is why I say I was thinking of this moment. I was shaping your path so that you would arrive here, not hardened beyond reach, but open enough to listen. Now, I am inviting you to respond. Do not treat this as a passing feeling. Do not reduce it to coincidence. Lean into it. Acknowledge that I have been present longer than you realized. Let that realization shift how you interpret your past. You are not the product of chaos. You are the product of care. Even your mistakes have been woven into a larger design. That does not excuse them, but it does redeem them. Stay with me in this awareness. Let gratitude replace suspicion. Let trust begin to grow where doubt once dominated. I have been patient with you, not because I am distant, but because I am deliberate. And now that you are here listening, do not rush away. There is more unfolding. My child, if I was thinking of this very moment when I gave my life for you, then I was also thinking of the ones who would hear my voice through you. This message is not only for your comfort, it is a lifeline for souls standing on the edge of despair. Did I not say, "Cast your bread upon the waters, and it will return to you"? I am breathing on every gift given in faith, turning small offerings into rivers of living water that reach places you may never see. If your heart has been stirred, that stirring is my invitation, not pressure, but partnership. The harvest is ready, and I am calling you to place oil in the lamp so the light does not go out. Act now according to your ability. Help carry my word further than you could ever walk alone. My child, I want you to sit still for a moment and notice your own breathing. Slow it down. Let your shoulders drop. You have been carrying more than you admit. You wake up with responsibility already pressing against your chest. You move through your day, managing expectations, meeting needs, absorbing tension, holding yourself together. You rarely stop long enough to acknowledge how heavy it feels. You have learned to function under pressure so well that even you sometimes forget how tired you are. But I see it. I see the quiet strain in you. I see the mental lists that never end. I see the replay of past conversations that keeps you awake. You carry guilt. You carry regret. You carry fear about what might happen next. And you carry it alone more often than you should. When I gave my life for you, I did not only address your sin in some abstract spiritual sense. I stepped into your burden. The cross was not simply about eternal destiny. It was about daily weight. You have allowed the past to sit on your shoulders like a silent supervisor, constantly reminding you of what you should have done differently. You relive choices. You revisit failures. You rehearse arguments that already ended. That internal replay drains you. It steals your focus. It chips away at your peace. I did not endure humiliation so you could remain trapped in self-accusation. I carried your shame so you would not have to drag it through every season of your life. When I say I died for you, I mean I absorbed what was crushing you. I took on what was bending your back. I stepped under the load so you could stand upright again. You have also been carrying expectations that were never mine. You feel pressure to prove yourself to others. You measure your worth by productivity, by approval, by how well you meet invisible standards. That pressure feels normal to you now, but it was never the life I designed for you. You are not meant to live in constant comparison. You are not meant to wake up each morning bracing for judgment. I want you to pause and ask yourself whose voice you are trying to satisfy. Is it mine? Or is it the echo of criticism from years ago? I speak truth to you, but I do not harass you. I guide you, but I do not suffocate you. When you carry weight that feels relentless and rigid, it is not coming from me. So I am inviting you right now, practically and personally, to hand it over. Do not spiritualize it in vague language. Name it. Tell me what is exhausting you. Tell me what memory still makes your stomach tighten. Tell me what responsibility feels heavier than you can handle. Bring it into this conversation. You have tried to manage it through distraction. You have tried to silence it with busyness. You have tried to outwork it. None of those strategies have brought relief. Come to me instead. Lay it down Imagine placing it at my feet. I am not distant. I am present. I am strong enough to carry what is breaking you. You may think you need to hold it together for everyone else. You may feel that if you stop carrying it, everything will fall apart. That belief has kept you locked in survival mode. Let me challenge it gently. You are not the savior of your world. I am. You can release what was never yours to sustain. That does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means shifting the source of your strength. When you walk with me, you do not walk alone under the load. You walk supported. You walk steadied. You walk sustained. Let that image settle into your mind. You are standing, not hunched. You are breathing, not bracing. You are moving forward without that constant internal pressure. Now take a moment and respond. Even if it is only a whisper in your heart, say it. Give me what you have been holding. Stay with me in this exchange. My child there is a part of you that still believes my love might have shifted after certain moments in your life. You look back at specific choices and you cringe. You remember words you wish you had never spoken. You remember actions you wish you could undo. You remember seasons when you ignored me or walked away from what you knew was right. And somewhere deep inside, you suspect that those moments must have altered how I see you. You think I tolerated you before, but now I see you differently. I need to confront that belief with clarity. Your mistakes did not change my decision about you. When I went to the cross, I was not operating with partial information. I did not assume you would live flawlessly. I knew the full range of your humanity. I knew your impulsive moments. I knew your insecurity. I knew your stubborn resistance. I knew the compromises you would make, and still I moved forward. My sacrifice was not fragile. It was not contingent on your future obedience. It was rooted in my character. My love is not a reaction to your behavior. It flows from who I am. That means your worst day did not shock me into reconsidering you. I was not caught off guard by your weakness. You have a habit of magnifying your failures and minimizing my mercy. You replay errors as though they are the defining headline of your life. You assume that because you are disappointed in yourself, I must be equally disappointed in you. But my perspective is different. I see the entire story, not just the chapter you are ashamed of. I see the context. I see the wounds that influenced your decisions. I see the immaturity you are growing out of. I see the pressure you were under. That does not excuse everything, but it informs how I respond. I correct you when necessary, but I don't discard you. I refine you, but I don't reject you. Consider this carefully. If your mistakes were powerful enough to cancel my sacrifice, then my sacrifice would have been weak. But it wasn't weak. It was complete. It was decisive. It was sufficient. When I said it was finished, I meant it. I did not leave room for future surprises to undo what I accomplished. You need to stop living as though you are on probation. You are not waiting for a verdict. The verdict has already been declared in your favor, because I took your place. That is not sentimental language. It is spiritual reality. I want you to do something courageous right now. Think of the mistake that still haunts you, the one that feels like a permanent stain. Bring it into the light of this moment. Do not soften it. Do not justify it. Just acknowledge it. Then hear me clearly. That did not change my mind about you. That did not make me regret loving you. That did not cause me to withdraw my presence. I am not naive about your capacity to fail. I am confident in my capacity to redeem. You have been punishing yourself internally, as though self-condemnation proves sincerity. It does not. It only keeps you stuck. Come to me instead. Allow my forgiveness to be stronger than your self-criticism. Let grace do its work. Walk forward without dragging yesterday behind you. You cannot step into what I have for you if you insist on staring backward. Lift your eyes. Look at me. I am still here. I am still committed. I am still calling you forward. Stay with me. Let this truth settle into your thinking. My child, there were seasons when you stopped talking to me the way you used to. You did not make a dramatic announcement. You did not declare that you were done. You simply grew quiet. Your prayers became shorter. Your worship felt mechanical. Your heart felt distant. You carried questions you did not know how to ask, and instead of bringing them to me, you tucked them away. I watched that happen, and I did not react with anger. I understood the silence. I knew it was not rebellion, as much as it was weariness. You were tired of hoping for answers that seemed delayed. You were tired of asking for clarity and hearing nothing but your own breathing in the room. So you withdrew. You assumed I must be disappointed in you for the distance. I was not. You need to understand something important. Your silence never intimidated me. It never confused me. I knew what was underneath it. I saw the disappointment you were wrestling with. I saw the fear that if you prayed again and nothing changed, it would hurt even more. You were protecting your heart from further disappointment. That is why you went quiet. It was not because you stopped caring. It was because you cared deeply and didn't want to feel let down again. I saw the way you would start to speak to me and then stop halfway through your thoughts. I heard the prayers you never finished. I was present in the rooms where you felt spiritually numb. I did not leave when you grew quiet. Sometimes you assume that relationship requires constant spiritual intensity. You think if you are not emotionally expressive, then you are failing me. That belief has made you feel guilty for seasons of dryness. But I am not measuring you by volume. I am not grading you on emotional energy. I know that life can exhaust you. I know that grief can dull your words. I know that confusion can make your mind feel foggy. When you could not find language, I was still listening. When you felt distant, I was still near. Your silence did not create a gap in my presence. It simply revealed that you were struggling. Now I am inviting you to speak again. Do not wait until you feel spiritually strong. Do not wait until your faith feels impressive. Come as you are. If all you can say is that you feel confused, say that. If all you can admit is that you are unsure, tell me that. I would rather hear your uncertainty than watch you pretend certainty. Open your mouth. Open your heart. Let your words come out unpolished. I am not looking for eloquence. I am looking for honesty. When you speak honestly, even in weakness, you are closer to me than you realize. And I want you to reflect on this. During the time you felt silent, I was not silent in my care. I was sustaining you in ways you did not notice. You were still breathing. You were still protected from certain dangers. You were still guided away from paths that would have harmed you deeply. My involvement did not depend on your vocal expression. That should comfort you. It means I am faithful even when your faith feels fragile. It means my steadiness is not fragile like human commitment. So come back into conversation with me. Do not rehearse guilt before you speak. Do not assume I am waiting to correct you. I am waiting to hear you. Speak now. Stay present. Let the silence end, not with shame, but with renewed connection. My child, one of the heaviest thoughts you carry is the idea that you should have responded sooner. You look at your life and think about the years that passed. You replay opportunities you missed. You imagine a version of yourself that would be further along spiritually if you had listened earlier. That regret has quietly shaped how you see the future. You tell yourself that perhaps I still love you, but maybe you have missed the best of what I had planned. That belief has made you hesitant to hope. I need to speak clearly into that fear. You are not too late. Time doesn't operate for me the way it operates for you. You measure your progress against age milestones, comparisons with others. You see peers who seem ahead, more disciplined, more mature, more accomplished in their faith. You feel behind. You think you should be further along by now. But I am not surprised by your pace. I have never looked at you and said, you should have arrived sooner. I see the full context of your journey. I see the wounds you were healing from. I see the responsibilities you were carrying. I see the confusion you were navigating. Growth is not a race. It is a process, and your process has not disqualified you. You also fear that certain doors have permanently closed. You imagine that some blessings were time-sensitive and now unavailable. Let me challenge that thought gently. I am capable of restoring years that feel wasted. I am capable of redirecting paths that seemed lost. When I say I redeem, I mean I reclaim and rework what you assumed was gone. That does not mean every consequence disappears. It means your story is not locked into regret. You are not standing at the end of opportunity. You are standing in the middle of it. Consider how many times in your life you assumed something was over, only to discover a new direction later. Think about relationships that ended, but led to deeper self-understanding. Think about plans that failed, but opened unexpected paths. You could not see it at the time, but I was guiding even then. If I was faithful in those seasons, why would I abandon you now? Your past delays have not exhausted my ability to lead you forward. Do not let regret become your identity. Learn from it, yes, but do not live inside it. I want you to do something deliberate. Release the narrative that says you have missed your chance. Say it internally if you need to. You are not disqualified. You are not forgotten. You are not beyond timing. Lift your eyes from the rearview mirror. Stop staring at what you think you lost. Look ahead. I am still writing your story. There are chapters you have not yet read. There are experiences you have not yet stepped into. There is growth that has not yet unfolded. Do not shrink back because you feel late. Step forward because I am still leading. Trust that I am not limited by your timeline. Trust that my grace is not on a deadline. Stay with me in this confidence. You are not too late to return fully. You are not too late to change direction. You are not too late to receive what I have been holding for you. Stay here. Let the truth settle. My child, there is something in you that tightens whenever you think about surrender. You hear the word and immediately imagine restriction, confinement, loss of freedom. You have seen authority abused. You have experienced leadership that demanded obedience without compassion. You have watched people use power to dominate instead of protect. So when you hear me call you closer, when you hear me ask for your heart, part of you wonders if I am about to limit your life rather than expand it. I need you to understand this clearly. I did not give my life to control you. I did not endure the cross to turn you into a fearful follower who moves only out of anxiety. I stepped into sacrifice so you could live in freedom, not in chains. Look at the nature of my sacrifice. Control takes, love gives. Control demands, love invites. When I stretched out my hands, I was not tightening a grip around you. I was opening a door. If my desire were domination, I would not have chosen suffering. I would have chosen force. But I chose vulnerability. I chose exposure. I chose to be misunderstood and mocked rather than compel you with fear. That alone should tell you something about my heart. I am not interested in puppets. I am interested in relationship. I am not trying to manage your behavior like a supervisor tracking performance. I am drawing you into trust. You sometimes imagine that following me means losing your personality, your preferences, your individuality. You fear becoming smaller, quieter, less alive. That fear is built on misunderstanding. I created your mind. I shaped your temperament. I designed your curiosity. Why would I erase what I intentionally formed? When I guide you, I am not erasing you. I am refining you. There is a difference. Refining removes what harms. It does not remove what is authentic. When I correct you, it is because I see a path that will wound you, not because I am threatened by your independence. My guidance is protective, not possessive. Now I want you to examine your resistance honestly. Are you afraid that if you surrender fully, I will ask for something you cannot bear? Are you afraid I will take away something you love? Speak that fear. Bring it to me. I am not offended by your questions. I want you to see that I am not hiding an agenda. My intentions toward you are steady and good. I have no hidden cruelty. I have no secret delight in restricting you. When I lead you away from certain choices, it is because I see the long-term cost you do not yet see. Trust my perspective. I see beyond the moment. I see the ripple effect. I see the damage before it happens. That is not control, but it is care. Let me invite you into something different. Instead of bracing yourself against my will, lean into it. Instead of assuming loss, consider the possibility of growth. Open your hands. Release the tension in your shoulders. Surrender is not shrinking. It is stepping into alignment with the one who knows you completely. You are safest when you are walking with me, not because I am controlling you, but because I am covering you. Come closer without suspicion. Let your obedience flow from trust, not from fear. That is the relationship I died to create with you. Take a breath and consider this carefully. Does your heart still feel defensive, or is it beginning to soften? My child, there are moments when you have felt invisible in your suffering. You have smiled when people expected you to smile. You have answered, "I'm fine," when you were anything but fine. You have carried grief quietly because you did not want to burden others. Some of your pain had been obvious, but much of it had been hidden. You have wondered if I truly notice the depth of what you feel. You have questioned whether your struggles are too small compared to the larger problems of the world. Let me answer you plainly. Your pain matters to me, not in theory, not in a distant, detached way. Personally. When I walked the earth, I stepped into human experience fully. I felt hunger. I felt exhaustion. I felt betrayal from close friends. I felt the sting of being misunderstood. I felt physical agony. I did not observe suffering from a safe distance. I entered it. That means when you are overwhelmed, I am not confused by your emotions. When you feel abandoned, I understand the weight of that feeling. When your heart aches in ways you cannot easily explain, I am not impatient with you. I am present. I know what it means to hurt deeply. I know what it means to cry out in distress. You sometimes minimize your own pain because you think you should be stronger by now. You tell yourself that others have it worse. You scold yourself for still struggling with something that happened years ago. That internal dismissal has prevented you from bringing your wounds to me honestly. I want you to stop dismissing yourself. If it hurts you, it matters. If it wakes you at night, it matters. If it has shaped how you see yourself, it matters. Do not rank your suffering. Do not compare it. Bring it to me as it is. There are wounds you have not allowed to heal because you keep reopening them through rumination. You replay the betrayal. You relive the rejection. You revisit the moment things fell apart. Each time you do, it feels fresh again. I see that cycle. I am not frustrated by it, but I want something better for you. Healing requires honesty and exposure to light. Invite me into the specific memory that still stings. Do not keep it locked away. When you allow me into it, I do not shame you for feeling deeply. I begin to restore what was fractured. I also want you to understand that I am not indifferent to injustice done against you. When others have spoken carelessly or acted cruelly, I saw it. When you were overlooked or undervalued, I noticed. You may feel as though no one defended you. I was aware. I am not blind to wrong. I am patient, but I am not passive. Trust that I am capable of addressing what you cannot fix yourself. You do not need to carry resentment as protection. You can release it because I see clearly. Now I am asking you to do something courageous. Stop pretending you are unaffected. Admit where it still hurts. Say it. Name it. Let the tears come if they need to. You are not weak for feeling deeply. You are human, and I am with you in it. Let my presence move into the space you have been guarding. Stay here with me. Let your pain be seen, not hidden. My child, there is a quiet pressure inside you that keeps whispering that you need to become better before you can truly come close to me. You think you need to clean up your thoughts, organize your habits, fix your inconsistencies, and present a more disciplined version of yourself. You approach me as if you are stepping into an interview, trying to show progress, trying to demonstrate effort. That pressure has shaped your relationship with me more than you realize. It makes you hesitant to pray on days when you feel spiritually weak. It makes you pull back when you stumble, as if you should not approach me until you have corrected yourself. I need you to understand something that may feel almost too simple. I am not asking you for perfection. I am asking you for honesty. Perfection was never the condition for my love. If it were, you would have been excluded long ago. When I died for you, I did not picture a flawless future version of you who never struggles. I saw the real you. I saw the days when your patience would run thin. I saw the moments when your thoughts would wander into doubt. I saw the times when your discipline would weaken. None of that canceled my decision. You keep trying to present a polished exterior to me, but I am not impressed by polished surfaces. I am moved by surrendered hearts. When you come to me pretending to have it all together, you are holding me at a distance. When you come to me with your confusion and say, "This is where I am," that is closeness. Let me tell you something gently. Your obsession with perfection has been exhausting you. You replay conversations wishing you had said something better. You evaluate your spiritual life like a report card. You measure yourself against other believers and conclude that you are falling short. That comparison quietly robs you of joy. It turns growth into anxiety. I did not call you into relationships so you could live under constant self-evaluation. Growth matters, yes. Obedience matters, yes. But neither of those were meant to be driven by fear. When you live afraid of disappointing me, you are misunderstanding my heart. I correct you because I love you, not because I am tallying your failures. I want you to try something different. The next time you fail, come to me immediately. Do not wait. Do not rehearse apologies until they sound impressive. Speak plainly. Admit it. Let the truth stand without excuses. Then receive my forgiveness without argument. Stop resisting grace as if it needs your approval. When I forgive, I mean it. When I restore, I am not secretly holding resentment. You need to let that sink in. I am not watching you with suspicion. I am walking with you in development. There is a difference between conviction and condemnation. Conviction guides you forward. Condemnation locks you in place. I do not lock you in place. You have also been afraid that if you relax your pursuit of perfection, you will become careless. That fear has kept you rigid. But maturity does not grow from rigidity. It grows from relationship. When you trust my love Obedience becomes a response, not a performance. You begin to desire alignment, not because you are terrified of punishment, but because you value connection. That shift changes everything. It moves you from striving to abiding. It moves you from anxiety to assurance. So let me invite you into something freeing. Drop the mask. Stop pretending. Let your imperfections be seen by the one who already knows them. You do not have to impress me. You do not have to outgrow your humanity before approaching me. Come as you are, not as you think you should be. Stay in conversation even when you feel inconsistent. Keep walking even when you stumble. I am committed to your growth, but I am not demanding flawlessness. Let that truth soften your approach to me. Tell me honestly, have you been trying to be perfect before coming close? My child, if you have stayed with me until the end, I want you to know that I am still here. Everything I have spoken to you is true. You are not too late. You are not disqualified. My love for you has never been based on your performance, and it has not changed because of your past. If this message has touched your heart, I invite you to respond to me right now. In the comments below, write the one thing you are ready to surrender, or simply type, "Amen," if you receive my love and grace over your life. If something stood out to you, share it. I am listening. And if this word has encouraged you, like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear that they are deeply loved and that my grace is still enough for them. Let this message reach the ones who feel too far gone, too broken, or too late. You are not alone. I am with you, and I am not finished with you yet. Go in peace, my child. I love you.